The California sun blazes over Ventura's rolling hills on May 6, 1996. 30-year-old Sharri Dally drops her children at school, her wedding ring glinting as she waves goodbye. She has errands to run, promises to keep. She'll be home by noon. She never makes it. By evening, her van sits abandoned in the Target parking lot like a ghost ship. Doors unlocked, purse untouched, shopping bags waiting in silence. Sharri has simply vanished into thin air. The surveillance footage reveals a haunting truth. 9:22 a.m., Sharri exits the store, walking confidently toward her van. Then, nothing. The cameras capture her departure, but not her destination. Television crews descend on Ventura. Missing person flyers flood the streets. But while search parties scour the countryside, investigators discover Michael Dally at his girlfriend's apartment. Barely dressed and clearly comfortable. Diana Hahn is everything Sharri isn't. A former model with striking features and a talent for manipulation. The affair isn't secret. Co-workers know. Family knows. Even Sharri knew. The detective confronts the reality that no concerned husband would be at his girlfriend's house while his wife has disappeared. Days crawl by without answers. Then a witness emerges with a story that changes everything. In the Target parking lot, she watched a woman approach Sharri's van. The stranger wore a tan pantsuit, blonde hair gleaming beneath sunglasses, moving with the confidence of authority. She spoke briefly with Sharri, then impossibly placed handcuffs on her wrists. Sharri was led to a teal-colored sedan, like a criminal being arrested. But this was no police officer. This was an abduction disguised as law enforcement. The description doesn't match Diana Hahn. Diana is brunette, doesn't own a teal car. But Detective Burt develops a hunch about that unusual color. It must be a rental. At Budget Rent-A-Car, the computer reveals a startling truth. Diana Hahn rented a teal sedan on May 5th, the day before Sharri vanished. Diana denies everything to investigators. She insists the signature isn't hers, and someone forged her name. When investigators examine the returned rental car, they discover a horror show. Brownish stains carpet the back seat. Chemical tests confirm their worst fears. Blood, and lots of it. Under luminol's revealing glow, the car's interior lights up like a crime scene Christmas tree. Blood covers the door panels, the headliner. Everywhere violence has touched. DNA testing delivers the final verdict. It's Sharri's blood. 25 days after Sharri's disappearance, volunteers searching a remote ravine make a grisly discovery. Bones scattered among the brush, clothing that friends recognize immediately. Dental records confirm the nightmare. Sharri Dally is dead. The forensic examination reveals a savage attack. Multiple stab wounds pierce her clothing. Embedded in her jawbone, investigators find a metal fragment, the broken tip of a serrated knife blade, a deadly calling card left by her killer. Evidence begins weaving an intricate web around Diana Hahn. In the rental car's back seat, investigators discover 5 strands of what appears to be human hair. Under microscopic examination, the truth emerges. Synthetic fibers from a wig, complete with telltale arrowhead patterns. The killer wore a disguise. A wig shop employee provides another crucial link. She remembers Diana purchasing a blonde wig shortly before Sharri's disappearance. The payment? A check written in distinctive green ink. When police arrest Diana, they find a green ink pen in her purse. Forensic analysis confirms the ink matches perfectly. Same formulation, same batch. It's like finding a smoking gun in her handbag. Handwriting expert Jack Harris studies the rental car agreement signature that Diana claims is forged. The capital letters are noticeably different from her current writing style, the slant deliberately altered. But Harris digs deeper, examining Diana's signatures from a decade earlier. The revelation is stunning. The disputed signature matches her old writing style perfectly. In trying to disguise her handwriting, Diana unknowingly reverted to patterns she'd used years before. She thought she was creating a forgery, but her muscle memory betrayed her. Diana's checkbook reads like a manual for murder. In the days before Sharri's disappearance, she purchased an axe, lighter fluid, matches, and sunglasses. Everything needed for abduction and disposal. All paid for with that same green ink pen, creating an unbreakable forensic chain linking her to premeditated murder. A search of Diana's home reveals her secret. She's a chameleon. Photographs show her in dozens of different looks, wigs, makeup, complete transformations for her modeling career. Her own mother struggles to identify her daughter in some pictures. The blonde wig wasn't an impulse purchase. It was a tool in the hands of someone who knew how to become invisible. Phone records reveal the final piece of the puzzle. Diana and Michael spoke repeatedly in the hours before and after Sharri's murder, conversations that map out a conspiracy. The prosecution paints a chilling picture. Diana followed Sharri to the store wearing her blonde disguise. Posing as law enforcement, she handcuffed Sharri and forced her into the rental car. At some terrible moment, Sharri recognized her captor. She knew her husband's mistress was going to kill her. The forensic evidence tells the rest. Diana murdered Sharri in the car's back seat, dumped her body in the ravine, then attempted to clean the evidence. But blood doesn't lie, and DNA doesn't forget. In Michael's bedroom, investigators discover the most damning evidence of all. A full-length pillow printed with Diana's photograph, lying on the bed he'd shared with Sharri. While his wife was still alive, Michael was literally sleeping with his mistress's image. The courtroom drama reaches its climax as both lovers face justice. The prosecution methodically presents the overwhelming evidence against Diana Hahn and Michael Dally. Forensic experts testify about the blood splatter patterns, the synthetic wig fibers, and the handwriting analysis that trapped Diana in her own web of deception. The defense attorneys struggle against the mountain of scientific evidence. Diana's lawyer attempts to portray her as a woman manipulated by Michael's charm, but the premeditated purchases of weapons and disguises tell a different story. Michael's attorney argues his client was unaware of Diana's violent intentions. But the phone records reveal their coordinated conspiracy in the hours surrounding Sharri's murder. The jury deliberates for hours, examining each piece of evidence that connected the lovers to the brutal crime. The rental car agreement with Diana's reverted handwriting, the green ink pen linking her to multiple suspicious purchases, the synthetic wig fibers found in the blood-soaked vehicle, the DNA evidence that gave Sharri's blood a voice from beyond the grave. When the verdict arrives, the courtroom falls silent, guilty of first-degree murder. Both Diana Hahn and Michael Dally receive sentences of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Sharri's father stands before the court, his voice breaking with grief and rage. He describes walking his daughter down the aisle and giving her hand to the man who would ultimately destroy her. The man who promised to love and protect her became her executioner, orchestrating her death for the sake of his twisted desires. In the end, it was forensic science that spoke for Sharri when she could no longer speak for herself. The handwriting analysis, the blood evidence, the synthetic wig fibers, each piece of evidence a word in the story of her murder. Detective Bert's instinct about the unusual teal rental car color cracked the case wide open. Jack Harris's handwriting expertise caught Diana in her own deceptive web, proving that even in trying to forge her own signature, she couldn't escape her past writing patterns. Without the blood in Diana's rental car, investigators might never have solved the case. But science doesn't lie, and justice, though delayed, finally arrived. The Ventura community learned that evil can wear familiar faces, that betrayal can come from those closest to us. Michael Dally's narcissistic belief that he could manipulate two women who both wanted him ultimately led to his downfall. 2 children lost their mother. A father lost his daughter. A community lost its innocence. But Sharri Dally's killers lost their freedom forever, trapped by the very evidence they tried so desperately to hide. Their elaborate plan, their careful disguises, their attempts to clean away the blood, all of it crumbled before the relentless pursuit of scientific truth. In prison cells, Diana and Michael face the consequences of their calculated cruelty. No amount of charm or manipulation can change the verdict written in blood, signed in green ink, and sealed by synthetic fibers. The truth, as it always does, found a way.